Welcome back to the channel, guys. We're going to be talking everything I know about the Predator Badlands. We're going to be coming out here this weekend, November 7th. And this is the 9th installment since the original came out in 1987 with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That original movie has spawned 3 sequels, 2 crossovers with the Alien franchise, 1 prequel, and 1 animation. And we still got 1 more movie coming out later in the timeline, most likely 2026, could be 2027, and that is Prey 2. So let's talk about what we do know about this movie that's coming out. Well, the first thing is PG-13. We all know that PG-13 is what killed the Alien vs. Predator movie. They should be rated R. But so far, a lot of people are saying that watch this movie that the PG-13 is not a problem. You're gonna get a lot of good horror, gore scenes and all that good stuff. And one thing we know about this movie, it is not on Earth. So all the Predator movies, including Alien vs. Predator 1 and 2, those all took place on Earth besides Predators. That was on their own preserve hunting ground, so to speak. That was a whole nother planet in the galaxy. So that is like the one movie in the franchise that just sticks out, and I really enjoy that movie. But this will not be taking place on Earth. This is a different planet throughout the galaxy, and I'll be talking about that planet in a second. And we do know this is directed by Dan Trachtenberg. He directed Prey and Killer Killers, and he's now directing this. So he's really taken over the Predator IP, so to speak, for Disney. I would literally just be like Alien Predator franchise, like the unit. I would just give this guy the key to the whole Predator franchise with Disney and let him run with it, because he's obviously doing a great job with this stuff. So this planet is called Genna. 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 And it's not a man-made hunting preserve like it was in Predators. This is like an actual planet that has evolved where everything's gonna kill you, including the plants, the trees, and some crazy motherfucking animals. So you got like this crazy octagon, like squid-like, climbing around the trees. You got this big ass dinosaur flying around, and who knows what's in the water. They haven't showed nothing about the water yet. I'm sure there's something crazy with that. There's like an elephant rhino walking around. That thing's like has like a tongue that like grabs you, pull you in, kind of like a Tremors. Yeah, you're not gonna survive here. So it's no surprise there's a Weyland Yutani AVP crossover in this movie, but no, there's gonna be no xenomorphs at all. So what? Yeah, it is a crossover. It's technically an Alien vs. Predator movie, but there's no aliens. So you got the Predators, you got the Weyland Yutani AI robots, and that's no secret. That was all in the trailers, so there's no surprise with that. And you got these robots that is played by Elliot Fanning. She's doing both of them, more or less like, you know, Michael Fassbender from Prometheus and Alien Covenant. You know how you had 2 different Michael Fassbender? That's kind of like what this is. But they absolutely hate each other. In most of the movie, you see Thea. She's the one that's like split in half, and she makes friends with Deck. And I'll talk about Deck in a second. He's the main Yautja, the Predator. I'll get into that in a second. But a lot of times, she is like stuck on his back, like a backpack, like you saw in Star Wars with CP3O and Chewie. You know how they walked around and he's on the backpack? That is like a good chunk of the movie, I heard. But the best way to describe this movie is what Dan Trachtenberg said, the director. So we're introduced to Deck. He's the main protagonist in this movie. And it's the first time that a predator is actually being hunted. And we actually get to see from his point of view. And we actually get to see emotions from a predator. We actually have a name of a predator. And we see predators talk. Yeah, we got a little glimpse of the language, but like they go full effect. So this movie is a lot of first times. So Deck, he's part of this clan, this family that has no weakness at all. So you have Deck and his brother, and then their father. He's like the main alpha, so to speak. And he doesn't approve of Deck. Deck is like the runt of the litter. He's weak. He needs to prove himself. His brother gets killed, and Deck steals his ship, and he gets away. He's more or less exiled. So the way to prove himself, he has to go to the most deadliest planet in the galaxy and kill the creature that is unkillable, just to prove himself that he's worthy of the title. Kind of like what you saw with Prey. Because you saw in Prey, she was a woman, and they were telling her, you can't do this because you're a woman. She goes out and proves herself, and she becomes like the head person of her clan. Not the same thing with this. So he's banished, he steals a ship, and he crash lands on the planet. And you can see from his face right here that he is showing a lot of emotion on his face. One, because his brother just died. His father fucking hates him. He just got exiled, and he's on a planet that everything wants to kill him, and he has no gear. So in the trailer, you do see him with some gear, but he must get that later on, because when he crash lands, he doesn't really have anything. He just has his one sword, which is pretty cool. So the creature, Kalisk, K-A-L-I-S-K, Kalisk. This is the creature that cannot be killed. And during the trailer, even the AI robot says that your kind has come to this planet multiple times over the years, and not one of them has survived. So this guy, Deck, he's on his first hunt, and he's going against the unkillable creature, and he's on this crazy planet. So he's definitely the underdog. And that's one thing about Dan Trachtenberg is he loves the great underdog story. And this is another great one. So like I said, he crash lands, he has no gear, so he has to improvise, he has to come up with some cool stuff. And you know, like in the Predator movie, you got that shoulder weapon, that famous one where he blasts shit. We're gonna get something like that. But it has something to do with a snake called Squirt. So the snake is on the shoulder and it squirts out his venom. And when it has like two different chemicals mixed, it creates an explosion. So the timeline of this, compared to all the other Predator and Alien movies, this is way in the future, way in the future. So this has nothing to do with the Predator movies. That's how far off this is. So you're going to get different techniques, different equipment, and that's why you're not going to see him with a helmet most of the movie. Because I'm pretty sure this movie starts out on their own planet with him and his brother and dad. They get into that fight, and then he sneaks off, and most of this movie is going to be on this one planet. And if you've seen the movie Riddick, the third installment, because the second one, The Chronicle of Riddick, that was terrible. But the third one, I don't mind it at all. He gets his little friend, it's like a dog, hyena, so to speak. But in this movie, he gets a friend also named Bud. Little buddy. And you can see him right here in the corner of this poster. So now, the only thing I don't really know is what involvement the Weyland-Yutani is. So this is definitely like a planet where they dump a lot of their stuff. Because like when they find that AI robot that's cut in half by Ellie Fanning, they definitely like either crash land or they were all attacked by that Kaliska creature. But what they're doing there, I do not know yet. Well, I really like what I'm seeing so far. The Predator look at first was getting a bad vibe, getting a bad ding with the CGI face and all that stuff. I get it. But the reviews are coming out, the out of theater reactions are coming out because this is just in a few more days and it's been really nothing but positive. So I am super stoked about this movie, guys. I cannot wait to watch this movie here in a few days. It's been a while since I've been in theater. This is one of them that's definitely going to be a theater. Probably the next one after this will be probably Anaconda and then Scream 7. But I'm excited, guys. So that is everything I know about. Alright, Searching Monkeys movie comes out in a couple days. I'll let you guys know how I feel about it when I watch it. Until then, have a good day.